Good morning, everybody. So I decided that today I'm going to share some joy energy with everyone, because really one of the things that is going to get us through to the other side of the circumstances that are happening for a lot of us and for a lot of our communities is tapping back into joy. So I'm going to do a little bit of a joy tarot session. And before I do that, I'm just going to open space so that we are having a clear, protected space in the work that we're doing. So let's begin. Great Spirit, Wankatonka, Tonkashila, Pachamama, Father, Mother, God, Creator of all that is, Elohim, Arcturian, Pleiadian, nature spirits, Aboriginal elders, all those who are benevolent and in alignment with the highest expression of joy in humanity right now, I welcome thee. All those who are discordant with this, I push out thee. No longer will you be able to interfere in the space where we are creating and weaving a reality that has joy that emanates. It is commanded that all those frequencies, forces, entities, beings that are creating discordance, that are creating pain, that are creating discomfort, that are creating narratives and perspectives and mentality and the feeling of being trapped in a destiny, a reality that is filled with suffering and anguish and jealousy, hate, envy, superiority, inferiority, and any other discordant emotion or frequency that is bringing forth misery, be pushed out of this space. Now you see. We will now bring some golden frequency through our biogeometry tool to just balance and harmony all that we've invoked and all that we've called and all that we've held boundaries to and all that exists within anyone who is watching, within you. Space is created. It is done. It is done. It is done. Okay, so as you can see, I have my beautiful crystal beings out, absorbing the sunshine. I'm getting a bit of sunshine therapy myself. For any of those of you who are watching me and think that, I'm just joy, happy all the time, that's not the case. I move through a lot of the denser, darker frequencies as well. And this is why I developed these tools to help me stay aligned with that which I choose, which, as I mentioned before, is the return to innocence and the restoration of harmony in the current reality in which I find myself weaving. And for those who are connected to me, my clients, my family, my friends, those who observe me from any place or perspective, whether I know it, whether I see them, this is a frequency that is going out to all who watch. A blessing to all who watch. A blessing of joy, a blessing of harmony, a blessing of beauty. Because beauty will save the world. And beauty evokes joy. And beauty evokes harmony. So what we're going to do now is a little bit of joy tarot. So I'm using the Rider-Waite deck, the traditional tarot. Maybe this is a slightly different version of it. I think it's the Rider-Waite Smith, and then we're going to pull an oracle card. So I'm picking a card for whoever is tuned in, and I'm just going to tap into whoever will be watching now and in the future that needs this message to bring them back into the resonance of joy. Okay, so Father, Mother, God, creator of all that in. Elohim, Arcturian, Pleiadian forces that work with me. I create a vessel within the space to be a surrogate for those who are watching. So we can pull a past, present, future frequency. No, they're saying we're just pulling one card and we're going to speak on that. Okay, so I've got to listen to my teams for whoever's watching. So let's cut. At the bottom of the deck, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have the 8 of Pentacles. So you always, if you're a tarot reader, you always look at whatever cards present themselves. And the bottom of the deck is the first place that I often look. And so there is an element, we are going to pull that one card, but just at the bottom, there's an element of someone who is working hard to develop themselves in some way, or working hard to develop a skill in some way, or is following a new discipline. And this card indicates that you're on your way to reap the rewards, to get success from the efforts that you've put in. So let's see what the message is for thee. We're going to split the deck. The deck is split. And we're going to pick the top card. Ooh. So we have the 9 of Swords. Okay, so this makes sense. We're doing a bit of alchemy here. So the 9 of Swords is a frightening card for a lot of people. It's the card of anxiety, of stress, worry, sleeplessness. So whoever I'm pulling a card for in this reading has been experiencing some serious anxiety, some serious stress, misery, sleeplessness, worrying about what is going on. We're just going to pull one more card. I know the team said we're going to speak on one card, but just to get a bit more clarity. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're getting a lot of swords here. So the 6 of Swords is about retreating and escaping a situation, trying to find some solace. So there's been some kind of situation in your life that has been creating a lot of sleeplessness, stress, anxiety, anguish, and it's a situation that you feel on some level you need to just step away from for a while, to just retreat from for a while. So this is the situation that we're going to do energy work on. Okay, so this is Joy Tarot. So we're not here to just delve too much in the situation or figure out how you're going to solve it. We're not doing any mind stuff here. We're not doing any mind stuff. We're just doing transmutation into joy. So the solutions will present themselves. What I'd like you to do, as challenging as it is I want you to just, for a moment, put your attention on the situation at hand. And we're going to start by just harmonizing the energy. We're going to bring the gold frequency into it. So gold is like the frequency of gold. I'm not talking about the actual gold, but you know, the metal of gold holds the frequency. But the frequency of gold is very harmonizing. It's very balancing. It brings equanimity. So that is the middle path. So we want to start by just bringing some of that energy in, and I'll let you be able to see, so you can tap in to the gold frequency. So now when we do biogeometry, we can start off the pendulum with a little bit of movement, but then we want to let it just move on its own so that it can tell us when it stops. So, okay, let's just put it on. So we're just going to show that card. The card's there. I'm going to put it under the, just so you can see what I'm doing. If you have your own pendulums, it doesn't have to be biogeometry. You can also scramble negative energies in different ways. But this is not scrambling. This is putting the golden frequency in. So as I'm doing this, we're just bringing balance. We're balancing all the extremes of the situation, extremes within yourself, the extremes you're connected with, the extremes of the situation. We're just balancing. We're waiting for the pendulum to slow down and stop to show us that we've put enough balancing golden frequency in. So as you can see, it's slowing down. Okay, and we're just going to do a little bit, see if we need to do any on the, with the avoid or the retreat, the moving away from. There's just a little bit of movement happening there. Okay, so we just put a little bit on the taking space, retreating. We didn't need to put as much there. So we've done that. So now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just, if you are connected to your body, you know, and if you're not, put it in the comments and we can do a session on how to like feel things within your body. Because remember, as I said in our other talks, that your body is a tool for transmitting and receiving frequency. So when you're holding a certain frequency in you, whether that's a reaction to a certain narrative or a certain situation in your reality, you hold that energy within your body. So I'd like you to, as best as you can, scan your body and figure out where you're holding the tension of the situation. We've balanced it a bit, so it should be easier to tap into. So if you could just scan, oftentimes we hold things within certain energy points where we have major glands located. So we've got glands located in the throat area, there's a thyroid and all that. We've got glands located in the heart area, in the solar plexus. So we'll talk chakras. We've got the crown, we've got up there, we've got the third eye, we've got the throat, we've got the higher heart, we've got the heart, we've got the solar plexus, we've got the sacral, and then we've got the root, which is by the perineum. Okay, so I want you to just feel where you could be holding that energy. Okay, out. And we're just going to focus on that. So I have my puppy presenting as well. He is anxious because of certain situations here. So I'm just going to tap into where he's holding it as well so we can clear it. Okay, so now as you become aware of where you're holding this tension, I'd like you to just start some rhythmic breathing, where you breathe in and out in the most gentle, non-trying, non-efforting way as possible. Just try to do in the most relaxing way as possible. And then when you get to the top of the breath, what I'd like you to do after breathing a few times is to just condense with your breath that energy. So you can condense it by holding your breath. You can condense it by pushing your breath out and breathing into that space. All I want you to do is to find that energy and to try and condense it, if that makes sense. So let's do that together. And as that energy feels more tangible, I'm now going to begin alchemizing it. So we're going to use fire. We're going to use the sun light to start transmuting, dissolving, or regenerating this energy. So I'd like you to just witness and picture the fire of the sun now entering into that space and just transmuting and dissolving it in whatever way you can. It can be gentle, it can be quick, it can be slow, it can be forceful, it can be smooth, rough, bumpy, clunky, subtle. It doesn't matter. Just sense it in some kind of way. Sense the dissolving, the resolving, the transmuting, or the regenerating of that area in your body. Where that was held. And just notice if there's a shift in your feeling or in your frequency as you've done that. And so as you're doing that, I want you to continue just breathing in the golden frequency into that space, into your body and into your mind and into your being, into your whole self, wherever you're holding this frequency. And to just gently keep breathing. And just letting the fire dissolve, resolve, or regenerate that area. Stop. Okay. Let's see what we've transmuted it into. Okay. Let's see. So, we've got the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom. We've got the Empress, which was the card on the top. So, the Empress is about connecting to your divine feminine, to your ability to receive, to harmony, to being in the divine feminine in quite a sovereign and regal way. So this is the outcome of taking that which is dense and that which is causing anxiety and transmuting it. And we used the fire of the sun to transmute it. Alchemy always goes from a lower frequency to a higher frequency. So the energy that we've transmuted this specific thing to within your being, which will, if you hold it, will start reflecting in your reality, is the Empress energy of the tarot, which is about the divine feminine, sovereign feminine, receiving beauty, harmony, working in partnership with the divine masculine, the Emperor, to call in a reality. So it's a collaborative energy. And then just to close, so I don't go too long in our time together, I'm going to pick an oracle card just for this part of your journey. So this oracle is called the Sacred Traveler, and let's see what card we've picked. So at the bottom we have in the flow. Everything is smooth sailing. Wonderful. And then the one that we're going to pick, so we split the deck and then we pick the one on the top of the lower one. So I'm going to split the deck and let's see what the lower one is. So we've got impasse, reflect and redirect your energy. So this part of your journey is telling you that now that we've transmuted all of this and you're flowing, it's important to realize that this that you have been working towards is not something that requires your energy right now. This thing that you've been battling, that you've been having anguish and anxiety about, it's time to, as we saw earlier, your natural impulse was to retreat. So that was the Six of Swords. So what we want to do is we want to take this joy energy that we've created with the sun, that is bringing you into flow again, that is bringing the divine feminine Empress energy, and we want to reflect and redirect it into something else, not the specific issue that we were talking about, because there is a block there. It's an impasse. It's saying this is not a place for you to be channeling your energy into anymore. This is a space for you to reflect and redirect from. And so let's pick a card of where you can channel your energy into. That's going to grow. I just checked at the bottom of the deck. Yes, this is a good thing. Gates of Triumph. Success expands in your life. We're going to grow this energy because it's still a little small. We want to develop it and grow it before we start, if ever you need to rechannel it into this area. But let's see where's a good place to channel this energy right now. Okay, split the deck. The bottom of the deck is reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. So this is how you get to your destination, is to direct your energy on breaking trail. A breakthrough is at hand. Okay, so this is about creating a new trail. Breaking trail is when, as you can see, there's all grass. You have to make a new trail, and so this is where the direction needs to go to right now, is finding a new path for yourself through this life, through the circumstances. There is effort required, because when you break trail, there's effort required, but and where you're going to get the energy is by transmuting the anguish that was going towards a certain situation which is now blocked from you. You cannot really you shouldn't be going in that direction. You need to redirect your energy. So you take that anguish, you take that anxiety, you use the elements. We used fire today, but you can use water, wind, earth, ether. In some traditions they use metal as well, but we won't go into that. So you use one of the elements that you're connected with, and you put it towards that feeling. When you identify in your body, you condense it with your breath, with your intentions, so that it's all kind of condensed. Then you put the element into that that energy until you feel a shift, and then when the shift becomes something positive, you try and generate more of that, and then you put it towards the new direction that you're going into, because this is about creating a new trail, breaking trail. So that's all for today. I don't want to go too long. Hopefully that was helpful. So, and here's some of this beautiful nature energy, the beautiful crystal energy, sending blessings to you all. May joy be activated within you. May this practice be helpful in bringing more joy into your world. May you use joy to break new trails, to break ground, to go in a new direction that is going to amplify the feeling of joy, amplify the connection to yourself, amplify your creativity. And I'm here to help with that if ever you need me. Space is closed. It is done. It is done. It is done. Okay, my loves. We'll see you next time.